Imagine this. Imagine turning on a switch. Let's call it the life switch. As soon as you turn this switch on, you start to lose weight. And the weight loss doesn't stop. And at the same time, you begin reversing your diabetes or pre-diabetes. Your arthritis, your joint pain, your gout feels better day by day until you don't feel pain anymore. Your eczema and other inflammatory conditions get better. Your sleep improves and your blood pressure normalizes. This switch is possible, but not if you're following a standard diet. Here's how they tricked you. Before we get into it, I just want to say, these are my thoughts, guesses, and opinions only. I'm not accusing any person or any entity of anything. And I have done no research to substantiate anything I'm about to say. I'm just thinking out loud. I do, however, think the discussions that will be generated from the thoughts that I share will be very interesting, so please comment your thoughts below. So the world gets unhealthier every day. Cases of diabetes and obesity are increasing. And this is despite more people than ever having access to first world food. Maybe that's the problem. As the availability of refined and processed food increases, so does sickness increase. Let's look at diabetes cases since 1980. Look how they've risen. What happened? Let's go to the authority for quick answers. If we go to Google and do a search, what is the biggest contributor to diabetes? Google tells us it's obesity and an inactive lifestyle. I think that's a little bit of a strange way to answer this question. If someone asked me the same question, my answer would be very different. Blaming obesity and inactivity for diabetes is way too simplistic. And it lets way too many people and organizations off the hook with no responsibility. You don't jog every morning. No wonder you have diabetes. Total BS. What is the biggest contributor to diabetes? Sugar. I sit at the computer most of the day. I am inactive most of the time. But I don't have diabetes and I'm not obese because I don't eat sugar. And saying diabetes is caused by obesity is a little bit like saying it's an airline's fault that a plane without wings is crashing. Boeing or Airbus sold the plane to the airline without wings. It's the manufacturer's fault. The fact they branded it an airplane instead of a submarine is not the airline's problem. It's a foundational issue. Same as diabetes. Sugar is the culprit. It starts with sugar and everything builds on top of that. Sugar gets you overweight, leads to inactivity. More sugar gets you more overweight, eventually obese, leading to difficulty with activity. And eventually you develop diabetes. And there is sugar in everything. So-called health foods are full of sugar or refined grains that convert to sugar in the body. But why would the food industry actively produce and promote products that harm the long-term health of their customers? Is this some kind of conspiracy? I don't think so. It just comes down to money. But what's to be gained by damaging your customers' long-term health? Let's look at this in terms of software. Imagine I code a piece of software that automates a mundane task in business. I could sell that software for a one-off fee of $1,000. That's a massive win-win. The business owner gets some software that automates a boring but necessary part of their business. And I get a cool $1,000. Trouble is, this $1,000 is only one time. And there's a finite number of customers that I can sell to. And in the last 10 years, software developers have realized that a different pricing model works better. Change your pricing model and offer software that people will rely on permanently, and you can make money every single month. Instead of charging $1,000 up front, charge $100 a month. In fact, charge $50 a month or even $20. And if you have a product the customer can't stop using and you constantly look for ways to improve that product, you will have a customer for life. So now, instead of making one-time $1,000, your customer's lifetime value is about $10,000. Putting this back in the context of the food industry, if I sell you a nutritious meal for $10, I've made $10. But if I sell you a processed food for $5 that you can't stop eating, then I'm going to make $5 over and over and over and over again. And how can I create a food that you can't resist? Add sugar, and then add a bit more sugar. And employ people to test it and show me how to give it the perfect crunch. And employ more people to find out what additives I can put in there so that when you eat it, you're going to feel satiated, but you're still going to feel a little bit hungry. And the thing is, over the years, the food industry has been able to ride the coattails of the anti-saturated fat movement. Saturated fat has been demonized for so long that it's just common knowledge that fat is bad. So when the food industry produces low-fat, high-sugar processed foods, they are seen as healthy. Let's finish with this. Look at the difference between people at the beach in 1976 and people at the beach now. In 1976, they were eating much more saturated fat and much less processed food. I'll leave a link in the description to my journey eating a meat-based, high-saturated fat diet. Guys, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe. And if you enjoy my videos and you'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a channel member. Click the join button under this video or the first link in the description. Thanks again, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.